Hey, what it do, baby boo? Um, in this video, this is another episode to my pro player reviews series where I just pretty much go through, pro players' gameplays and I just analyze it and shit. Take out the necessary information and I give it to you so that you can go into the jungle or mid lane with this pro, quote unquote, pro information and then apply it to your own gameplay so you can be better at League of Legends. In this particular game, I'm going to be reviewing Peanuts Lee Sin. There's a couple of things I want to say before we get cracked into the game. The reason why I chose this particular video is because you can't see anything that Peanut's seeing. See, if I move my thing over here, edit scene, Peanut's right behind me, but I'm going to cover him because he's not important. Well, you know, his camera isn't important, this particular thing. But as you can see, you're going to be hearing him talk behind me every now and then. I'll turn it down as much as I can, but listen, yeah. But the reason why I chose this, the second reason, is because, as you can see, we don't know the enemy jungle's position, which is always, in my opinion, it's the better option, because then you can know exactly what Peanut's thinking, sorry, and you're not given any clues, you just know his exact thought process. So he's starting blue. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the champs. Hold up. Because I'm wondering why he's starting top side of the map. And is it because is he going to try and go for a bot? Fuck me. Bot lane gank early? Or is he taking this because he thinks Ivan's going to try and steal it? I'm guessing it's because he thought Ivan was going to steal it, because the bot lane gank potential is legit next, like, there is none. Against, like, you haven't support Nunu. He's also doing the top 3 camps, which is, it's not necessarily unusual, but it's something that I'm definitely not used to. How do I get rid of this? Oh, fuck, my bad. Yeah, go this one. So this is like one thing I'm thinking right now. Why is he doing a quote unquote full clear? Is it because he thinks there's going to be no potential for a gank anyway? It's good that we got his translation as well, because he might say some good comments and shit to pick up from. Okay, so he thinks Ivan's bot. So because this is up here, we're probably thinking that Ivan he either started at his red buff, or he started here, took this, went back and then did a clear here, and then went back to base, and then he's going to go on the top side of the map, which is one of the reasons why Peanut would put the ward here, because if he thinks his clear is 1, 2, 3, or essentially anything on the bot side of the map, and then there are no ganks available, that means that he's either going to go back to base and then come over here, or he's just going to run back to the top side of his jungle. So we already have a good idea of what Ivan's pathing would be. By the way, I haven't watched this, okay? I'm just like commentating on it now. But notice how it's almost 4 minutes in and he hasn't gone for the level 3 gank. Because that's something that a lot of junglers do. They go for level 3 ganks. And doing a full clear, or at least, you know, more camps than usual, would throw off the timing. Because you can expect a gank for, like as a mid laner, if they're going for level 3 clears, you can expect a gank around, you know, 3 minutes to 4 minutes. But if you do a few more camps, it obviously is going to take more time, which means that maybe you can go for a gank later on, which means that throws off the enemy timing. Okay, so he's mid. I'm not sure if he's been back to base yet, Ivan, but we'll see when he... We'll see when he presses tab. Okay, so he's doing this. Oh look, they found him. Look mid, because they're having a fight mid. I think one thing to notice right now would be the fact that he hasn't gone for any ganks at all. And I'm guessing that's because he believes that there is no opportunity for ganks in the first place. There's not really much CC to work with. Like, the chance of Victor laning a W or some shit is low. Without red buff, they might not have enough damage to kill Zed in the first place. But it's pretty interesting that he hasn't gone for any ganks at all. Okay, so top. Nice. So he just pretty much just rushed level 6. Okay, this is going to be really good because he knows where Ivan is now. And I'm expecting like a dive soon or something. Oh yeah, okay, I get it. Hold on, let me bring something up really quick. I'm going to write some notes over here and then we'll talk about them in a bit. See, look. Even he says it. So he doesn't get red buff. Okay, he looks for the counter gank. On the next back, we'll pause the video, go through the notes, and we'll talk about the shit that I've written on over here. Okay, so we see him again.
Oh shit.
Huh? Oh, he's fucking dead. Unless he gets... Oh, nice, okay. Oh shit. Nice. Oh, nice. And obviously, since they saw Nami go mid, they were able to capitalize on that and rush Lucian, so that's pretty simple. We'll see what this dude does. There are 3 things that I've written that are super important for you guys to learn from. It takes red buff. Okay, he's going back now. Okay, hold on, I might skip something. It's pretty important. I think he's going into his jungle now because he is assuming... Yeah, look, Ivan's bot side, which obviously, since you see the jungler bot, you get free reign over the top side of the jungle, so he can take his camp, his red buff camp, because Ivan was obviously bot. He can get vision here. He can take Raptors and he can look for a dive top. So because that's one thing to make aware of, I'm going to write this down. Did they go for it though? Okay, no, they don't go for it. So to summarize things so far, okay. Samamari. So, lack of ganks. So the first thing to talk about is the lack of ganks. So when I teach my jungle clients, the thing that I always tell them is that you need to have a perfect balance of ganking and farming. Okay, when you're not ganking, where there are no fights available, you just you farm, and when there is a fight that's about to happen, you gank. Okay, I'm assuming that the reason why he hasn't ganked, or he ganks like piss all amounts, maybe like once or twice or some shit, I can't remember, in the first like 10 minutes over here, is because there weren't fights happening. At least fights that that could be, what's the word? Fuck, my bad. Capitalized off. For example, you see Zed pushed up too much and you have the damage to kill him, or you see, you know, Kennen pushed up too much or some shit. Plus, when you look at it, like if you look at top lane Kennen already has an escape with his W, you know, he runs fast and shit. Zed has an escape with his W, no CC to work with. And bot lane you have a Nunu, and it's kind of hard to work with a Nunu. Only, what I'm trying to say is that these particular lane matchups, only in certain situations are there ganks. It's not like you're with the Pantheon. Like, for example, let's say there was a Pantheon top versus like a Maokai, and it's the early levels. If Peanut was to play Lee Sin, he might have started bot side, ended up on the top side of the map after his clear, and rushed to dive top because you have Pantheon. Pantheon has the W, you line it up with the stun. You line it up with your Q, and then you have enough burst to kill Maokai or some shit in the early levels. But in this particular laning phase for the game, there weren't many fights happening. There wasn't many opportunities for dives, which is why I'm guessing he did a quote-unquote full clear. He farmed a lot more than he ganked. So what you need to do, okay, this is how you can apply this shit to your next game if you're playing jungle, is that you need to realize if there are fights or not. You need to be aware on the map to see if there are fights. If there are fights, obviously Peanut would have done his best to, you know, go to these fights. For example, there was that time that Ivan was bot, so he started hitting bot side, blah blah blah. But if there aren't any fights and you have good vision, quote unquote vision, of the enemy jungle's pathing or prediction, you know where he's going, you can just farm and you can ping your team about where they are. Because if you do try to go for a gank when there aren't any ganks available, let's say if Peanut was to go for a gank mid or top this game, if they're not 100% guaranteed, you're going to give away your position to the enemy jungle and to the whole team. You're going to be wasting time, but not only that, what was the last thing I was going to say? Fuck, my memory is terrible. Oh, there's an opportunity for a double kill. If you stuff it up, if you make any mistakes, honestly, that gives the enemy so much more freaking advantage, so much more of a lead to come back into the game. So you need to be super calculative in your early game, especially with jungle, because oh, nice. And look, see, Ivan top. I'm surprised he didn't flash R. Maybe that was a mistake, because if he flash R'd, he would have got... So R flash, he would have gotten the kill there. Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, fair enough. Oh, what are you up to? You just have to wait for the wave, yeah. Nice! We'll see what he does now. I'm guessing he's going to go for... Try and take Scuttler and then go back to base, because he's pretty low and he's got no... Or is he going to go Dragon? Oh, what a big dick. Oh, okay, because he saw Ivan top. And do it like this. And then I'm guessing it's going to say over here, Ivan's top. Or Ivan was top. Yeah, constantly top lane so we can go Dragon. Yeah. Yeah. And then go back to base. Okay, so the other thing that I was going to talk about... Oh, yeah. Everything's calculated, so that goes up with this one, lack of ganks. Farm when no fights available. And counter pressure. So this one is super important. So if you understand the enemy's pathing, for example, we deducted you know, that there was a particular point when Ivan was bot, so he took red buff and Raptors, and I think he got a ward there as well. And there was also a time when Ivan was top. There were 2 times where Ivan was top and he dived bot twice. And he was able to kill Lucian twice, I think, or Lucian was left by himself or some shit. But essentially, this game, there's been a heavy focus on bot lane because the use of counter pressure. Ivan's top. Because Ivan's top, that means that they're investing a lot of resources, well, essentially just their jungler, into trying to kill the top lane, kill Jace. But that means that because there is so much pressure up here, it's the counterbalance that they put too much over here, which means that over here there's a lack, there's a dip in pressure, which means that you can capitalize off that, and that's exactly what Peanut did. This is pretty interesting that he's going top because his bot camp's up as well, which means that he could have chosen both. He could have chosen to go bot and go for another bot dive, or go mid. But maybe he wanted to do a full clear, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then end up on the bot side of the map that way.
아쉬운 캐릭인 게 사정이 안 돼. 반대쪽에서 뭘 하면. 바텀 조심해, 조심해, 조심해.
Yeah, Ivan's bot. So we'll see what they do. And look, perfect. This is honestly so gangster. Because they snowballed Ashe and Nunu so much, it not only puts Ashe and Nunu up, but it has the quote-unquote net effect, is it? Where Lucian and Nami go down. So it's not just +1, it's +2 because you make them go down as well. And because they go down, the opportunity to counterplay and do 2v3s and shit like that, the chances are increased of Ashe and Nunu outplaying them because they're so far ahead and Lucian and Nami are so far behind that even if Ivan does come, it just brings their one up, but they still have the lead. Does that make sense? And that's exactly what happened. They snowballed bot lane. Peanut snowballed bot lane so much through the use of counter pressure, so much so that because their lane's completely GG'd, even if Ivan does come, it doesn't matter because
In a fist fight, you were faker.
뭐야 이거? 이 자식아. 아, 여기 아이번.
maybe look for another gank bot, dive bot. I mean. Okay, he doesn't give a fuck, he's just gonna get the turret. And this is really smart. For anybody watching this, especially if you're bot lane and you're snowballing and you get this turret as fast as you can, that means the ADC and support can go back to base, buy items, go mid, get this turret, catch the wave bot, go back to base, buy items, get dragon, go top, rotate top, and that's how the snowball starts. It's super important to get that turret early if you're snowballing because you just open yourself up to help your team even more, which further rolls the snowball. And you see how he just pinged Jace back. This is something that is really important as well because they just had a quote-unquote fight bot because Lee Sin was bot. They were trying to get the turrets and then they were having a little skirmish over here. If Ivan was on this side of the map, he would have went here, right? He would have been in range to go over here and help his team out, but he didn't. And because he didn't, you can safely assume that he's not on this side of the map and he's on the top side of the map. And because he's on the top side of the map, that means that Jace, when he fights Kennen, he's susceptible, or he opens himself up to a 1v2, which he doesn't want to do, you know. You just want to play it safe. Which is why he just said Ivan might be top. But that's just predictions, okay? That's just all in the head. That doesn't mean it's 100% definite, but see, look, and he showed bot side. Which means that it's still not, you should still get into the habit of predicting with your brain, like the shit that I just did. Sometimes it's not going to work out, but the most of the time, like a good 70% of the time it will, you can predict the enemy's jungle pathing without wards. And see, look, even he thinks that, Peanut was wrong in that instance, like I was, but it's okay, it doesn't change anything. You should get into the habit of predicting the enemy jungle pathing anyway. See, look, bot lane, they can get their turret, they roam mid.
야. 이 자식아. 뭐라고?
Oh, nice.
와우. 아,
They get vision over
도와주실 분, 도와주실 분. 네, 한 봐드립니다.
their turret. Even though they're taking bot lane, they're making plays on the top side of the map. He might die. Oh no, he's got smite. Nice. I'm guessing they're gonna get mid turret here. Mid turret and Rift Herald. Oh, and top
야,
turret.
탑라인 안 밀고 오냐? 아, 안 밀고 와도 되네. 와우.
Nice. So they got mid turret.
와, 제이스. 와, 헐리 씨. 와우. 근데 좀
And see, they got Rift Herald mid turret off of and they did sacrifice bot turret, but it doesn't matter because the snowball's already rolling.
이거를 일단 죽여. 이거 데이지를 와.
I think, and this part here is GG. Like, to be honest, to be completely honest with you, it was GG about the second dive over here. Is this the second one? Yeah, it's GG here. Because Peanut's strategy is to get the bot lane snowball rolling and then get them to take the turret and then just go out of control. Get the turret, rotate mid, blah blah blah. Because now Ashe and Nunu are free to roam. They can go get this. They can go get Vision over here. They can go get Dragon. They just have more map pressure, which means it allows you to snowball even further. So if we were to sum up this whole game, well, first would be no stupid ganks. For some reason, and I fall into this category as well, people have the mentality to you have to gank, you have to force a gank, or if you're a jungler means gank, and that's it. But that's not always the case. But in a jungle, as a jungler, you are stuck between these two sides of the spectrum, and one side is farming and one side is ganking. And the perfect jungler knows how to balance those two spectrums. Sometimes you should like completely disregard farming and you should just force ganks. Let's say you're Elise and there are easy dives somewhere on the map. You're probably not going to farm, you're probably going to buy Mobies and you're just going to keep diving the same lane over and over again. On the other hand, like this one, let's say that there are no gank opportunities at all, or let's say that even if you were to gank it wouldn't be worth it or some shit. Then it's better to just farm and wait for the fights to show themselves, because they will show themselves. There will eventually be a fight. And if you play it correctly, you farm up, you've got some good items going. When you get to that fight, even if it is your first fight in the game, you're going to have a big influence because you haven't made any mistakes in the past 7 or 8 minutes or whatever. So no stupid ganks farming in this game. I want to paint the picture and really make the point that it's just this game that this particular strategy worked, where he farmed for like fucking ages. He didn't do many ganks. You have to understand if the game is fight heavy, if there are a lot of fights happening and you should be there, or if it doesn't require as many ganks, even if there are ganks available, and you should just be farming in the first place. Farming this game and counter pressure. This one's huge. Counter pressure, Ivan top equals dive bot twice. And that's how they essentially won this game, is that they got bot lane snowballing. Peanut got bot lane snowballing, took the turret, blah blah blah. And then take bot turret because they have the lead. It's gonna snowball out of control. And then just bang, bang, bang. Take bot turret, take mid turret, take dragon, go back to base, buy items, bang, 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 until you take the nexus. So I hope hopefully this video was beneficial to you. If you have any questions, just let me know. The next few videos that I'm doing, I'm mainly going to be doing mid lane and jungle. Okay, I don't think I'll move into ADC or support or top unless I get enough requests to do so. It's mainly going to be mid, ADC, and jungle. And the main mids that I'm going to be looking over is Apto, Faker, and Rookie, and maybe Pawn or some shit. And the junglers are definitely going to be Peanut, Blank, Bengi, and what's the other ones? Clear Love. I love Clear Love. Holy shit. So yeah, any questions, just let me know. If you liked the video, obviously hit the like button. If not, I'll just go fuck myself. Have a good day. I love you. Stay beautiful. Shana Ducks.